Good afternoon, friends. So let us continue with our third chapter, that is solving problems by searching. So in the previous class we have seen the definition of search. So let's recall the definition of search. So it is a process of looking for a set of actions to reach to a particular goal. Next we have seen a topic called well-defined problem. So how to formulate a problem. So we use 5 components for that. First one is initial state. So what is the starting point of your problem? The next one is set of actions available with our agents. Okay. Next one is transition model. So when you apply a particular action on a state, okay, new states are generated, and that is governed by this transition model. The next one is goal test. To check whether a current state is a goal state or not, we use this goal test function. The next one is path cost. It assigns the numerical cost to a particular node. Okay. Then we have seen search strategy. Okay. So let's recall that topic. So when we continue solving our problem, okay. So from this state, let's say 2 actions are possible. Okay. And then we will get these 2 nodes. Okay. Then from this node, maybe these 2 actions are possible. Then we will get next nodes. Okay. So if you continue like that, we were getting a tree-like structure, and that tree is known as a search tree. Okay. So how you traverse through this search tree defines your search strategy. Okay. If you go level by level, you will get DFS algorithm. Okay. If you go in particular branch to its deepest level, you will get DFS algorithm. Okay. So the way of traversal decides your search strategy. Then next we have seen the expansion and generation. So if you apply these 2 actions on this node, okay, this node is getting expanded and these 2 nodes are generated. Okay. So we have seen these things in last class. Okay. Let us start with today's class. Okay. So ultimately, if you follow this search tree, you will reach to our goal node, right? But what is our ultimate goal? So consider this search tree. Okay, and consider this G is our goal state. Okay, so now ultimately you will reach to this goal. Okay, but that is not our aim. We have to find a solution path, right? We want this path. Okay, so every node in this line, in this path, should store some information. Okay, by using that information, we will be able to backtrack to the root, right? From the goal to root. Okay, so what information is required? We need a state information. Okay, so now this is this is the example of 8 puzzle problem. Okay, so suppose we are talking about this n node. Okay, so what is the state of this n? So this is the current state of this n. Okay, so with this state information, we can use this state information in while applying goal test, right? Okay, who is the parent of this node? Okay, that is also important. Okay, so this n, this is the parent of this n node. Okay, which action you have applied on a parent to reach to this node n? Okay, and what is the path cost of this n? Okay, for this example, path cost is 6, and you have applied right operation on its parent. Okay, this much information is required at every node in the search tree. The next one. Okay, next one is evaluation of algorithm performance. Okay, so in order to evaluate a particular algorithm, we need these 4 parameters. Okay, there can be multiple solutions available for a problem. Okay, so how to compare these multiple solutions? Okay, so we have these 4 parameters. First one is completeness. Okay, so completeness says that if a solution exists for a particular problem, is your algorithm guaranteed to find a solution? Okay, so your algorithm should be complete. Okay. The next one is optimality. Okay, does your strategy find the optimal solution? There can be multiple solutions. Okay, but your algorithm should provide optimal solution, the best one. Okay. Next one is time complexity. How much time your algorithm is taking. Okay, generally we measure time complexity and space complexity in terms of DGO notation, right? Then space complexity, how much space that algorithm is taking. Okay, so let us consider sorting algorithm. So we have merge sort algorithm and insertion sort algorithm, and if you compare their time complexity and space complexity, okay, so time complexity of merge sort is order of n log n, and space complexity of order of n, where n is number of elements in the array, right? Insertion sort time complexity is order of n square, okay, and space complexity of order of 1. Okay, so if you see here, insertion sort is space efficient and merge sort is time efficient. Okay, so you have to decide based on your requirement. You have to choose among these multiple algorithm, multiple solutions possible. Okay, so there will be trade-off between these parameters. Okay, so according to your situation, you have to choose a particular algorithm. Okay, so remember these 4 parameters. Okay, next concept is frontier. Okay, so consider this example. Okay, now consider this is our initial state, and from this state these 2 actions are possible, A1 and A2. Okay, if you apply these 2 actions on A, 2 new nodes are generated. Okay, now A is expanded. A is expanded and these 2 nodes are unexpanded. Now we have to maintain this unexpanded search nodes. Okay, so we maintain them in a state called frontier. Frontier. Sometimes it is known as an open list or a fringe. Okay, so they will be maintained in this frontier. Okay, and the data structure that you use to implement this frontier decides your search strategy. Okay, if you maintain this frontier as a stack, you will get DFS algorithm. If it is maintained as a queue, you will get BFS. Okay, we will see this dependency in detail in later slides when we discuss DFS and BFS. Okay, next concept is known as explore set. Okay, just like frontier, we will maintain a set called explore set, where we maintain the nodes which we have expanded. Okay, so at this scenario, A will be maintaining explore set. Okay, sometimes it is known as closed list. Okay, and why it is now it helps to avoid exploring redundant paths and loopy paths. Okay, so consider this example. A. Okay, consider this is a city map. A is adjacent to B and D. They are connected via some path. Okay. Now, okay, let us start with A city. Now we have B and D as its neighbor. Okay. Now consider we are not maintaining explore set. Okay. So now we have visited B. Who are the neighbors of B? Again we have A and again we have C. Okay, and again we are revisiting A, and then again we will explore B and D. Okay, and we are falling in a looping. We are falling in a loop, right? Okay, so this path will be infinite. Okay, in order to avoid such loopy path, we can use explore set. Okay, so once you visit a node, we will insert in an explore set. Okay, so explore set helps us to avoid such loopy paths. So we are maintaining 2 data structure here, frontier to maintain the unexplored search nodes, and explore set to maintain nodes which we have expanded. Okay. We can have 2 versions of search algorithm, that is tree search and graph search. Okay. So what is the difference here? In a graph version of a search, we are maintaining an explore set. Okay, means what? We are avoiding a loopy path. Okay, but in tree version of a search, we are not using explore set. Okay, so thereby this will be space efficient and this will be time efficient. Okay, actually not time efficient, but this will guarantee a completeness. Okay, we will see that. Okay, so let us consider. So this is the basic structure of any search algorithm. Okay, basic structure. Okay, so initially your initial state will be there in the frontier. Initialize the frontier using initial state of the problem. So your initial state will be there in the frontier. Then you repeat this procedure. Okay. So if frontier is empty, then return failure. Your algorithm will end in two cases. Either it will find a solution or it will be a failure. There will be no goal state. Okay. So if frontier becomes empty, what does it mean? So frontier is storing unexpanded search nodes. Okay. So if there is no unexpanded search node, then there is no goal state, right? So you have visited all the nodes and you could not find any goal state, right? So in that case, you will return failure. Okay. Then choose a leaf node and remove it from the frontier. Okay. So you choose the first node from the frontier. Okay. If that node is a goal state, then return a corresponding solution. Okay. Otherwise, if it is not a goal state, then you expand that. Okay. So you expand the chosen node and you add its child in the frontier. Add resulting nodes in the frontier. Okay. In graph search, we are maintaining an explore state. So initially, we are not visited every node, any node. Okay. That means explore state will be empty. Okay. The extra parts are highlighted in a bold. Okay. So this is extra part. The next one. Okay. If frontier is empty, then return failure. Okay. Then choose leaf node. Okay. If it is not a goal state, you add that node to explore state. Okay. The next one. Expand the chosen node. Okay. And add its child only if those childs are not in frontier and explore state. Okay, don't go in a loop. Okay, so you avoid the nodes which are already visited. Okay, so that is the extra part. There are basically two categories of search strategies, that is uninformed and informed search. Okay, in uninformed search technique, we don't have any additional information to guide us. Okay, so it will be just like a blind search. There is no extra information which path to follow. Okay, there are different options available, right? Which branch to follow? There is no information available. Okay, so we are searching blindly. Okay, so our search is blind, exhaustive, and brute force. Okay, algorithms are this one. Then we are going to see this algorithm in detail. Then next category is informed search. So we have certain information to guide us. Okay, so that information will tell us out of these possible branches which branch is more promising. Okay, and we will go in that branch only. Okay, so such information is available and that information is provided by the heuristic function. Okay, but disadvantage of this is this heuristic function is very problem dependent. For every problem you have to design different heuristic. Okay, and it is very difficult to find a heuristic for every problem. Okay. First uninformed search technique is known as breadth-first search. It expands the shallowest unexpanded node. Okay, shallowest means what? Which is present at the higher level, right? Okay, so we'll start with the search node. In BFS, we use a queue. Okay, so if you remember a queue, it has two ends. Okay, this is known as the front and this is known as the rear. Insertion happens from a rear and deletion happens from a front. Okay, deletion is known as DQ operation and insertion is known as NQ operation. Okay, so initially we will have A. Okay, now our frontier is Q here, right? Okay, and it follows a FIFO pattern, right? First in, first out. Okay, so initially A will be there. Okay, now we will remove A and we will check whether it is a goal state or not. If it is not a goal state, we will expand it and we will add resulting childs in a queue. Okay, so B and C are its child. Now B will be removed Okay, we will check whether it is a goal state or not. Okay, it is not a goal state, then we will continue, we will expand it and we will add its child to a queue. Okay, now they are following a FIFO pattern, right? Then we will expand C, we will remove C, we will check whether it is goal, it is not a goal state, then we will expand it and we will add its child and so on. Okay, so we are going level by level. Okay, we are following this pattern. Okay, we are going at this fashion. So this is DFS algorithm. Okay, so this is the algorithm. Okay, first thing you can notice that you are using a explored set. Okay, that means this is a graph version of this DFS algorithm. Okay, so breadth first search on a graph. Okay, so you are maintaining an explored set. Initially it will be empty. Okay, so now it is just like the algorithm that we have seen. Okay, that is graph version of a search. Okay, so the problem's initial state will be our node. Initially path cost will be 0. Okay, we will check whether this node state is a goal. If it is a goal, then return a solution. Otherwise, you create a frontier as a FIFO queue, first in first queue, with node as the only element. Explore set will be empty and repeat this procedure. If frontier is empty, return failure. Okay, then you remove that element, first element. Okay, and you expand. You add that node to an explored one. Okay, then for that particular state, multiple actions can be possible. You apply every action one by one. Okay, if you apply this action on this state, okay, childs will be generated. Okay, this child you are checking whether it is in explore or frontier. Okay, if it is not in explore and frontier, then you are checking whether this child is a goal test or is goal or not. Okay, so you are checking. So observation is the goal test is applied at the time of generation. Okay, why it is? So we have seen two concepts: generation versus expansion, right? So here we are applying goal test at the time of generation, not at the time of expansion. How it will help you see? Okay, why we are applying at the time of generation and why not at the time of expansion, you will see. Okay, so we are checking whether that generated child is goal. Okay, if it is not goal, then we are inserting in a frontier. Okay, so we will repeat. Okay, so I will explain why it is efficient to check at the time of generation. So consider this search tree. Okay. Now there is another concept called as a branching factor. So that is represented by B. That is branching factor. Okay. So now here branching factor equals to 2. Okay. This is D equals to 0. Depth is 0 for the root. Okay. Now consider G is our goal. Okay. So now we will apply this DFS algorithm on this. Okay, and we will find out what is the time complexity and space complexity of this algorithm. Okay. We generally measure time complexity in terms of how many nodes you have to process. Okay, how many nodes, number of nodes you are processing, and space complexity at a particular moment. Okay, what is the maximum number of nodes that you are storing in a main memory? Okay, so you have to compare how many elements are there in frontier and in explore state. That you have to check. Okay, so let us calculate the time complexity. Okay, so now we are checking voltage at the time of generation. Okay, so initially A will be there in a frontier. Okay, A is not our goal. Okay, so we will remove it. So our Q will become empty. Okay, then we will apply actions on that. Okay, so B is generated and B is checked against the goal. Okay, it is not a goal, so we will insert it. Then C is generated. Okay, by next action C is generated. Okay, C is not a goal, we will add that. Then B is removed. Okay, B is removed. Then it is add and explode. So this is our frontier and explode. So initially A is explored, then B is explored. Okay, next. Okay, so B was removed. Okay, then B is not a goal state. Then we will apply actions on that state. Okay, now D is generated. D is not a goal state, so it is inserted in the queue. Okay, then E is generated. E is not a goal, so it is inserted in a frontier. Then next C is removed. Now C is removed. Okay, C is not a goal. Okay, so it is added in explore set. Then okay, so next we will apply action on C. So F is generated. F is not a goal state, so we will add in a frontier. Then we will apply next action on C, and G is generated. And this child, that is G, okay, it will pass a goal test and will return a solution. And now our algorithm will stop here. Okay, so now at a particular moment, okay, so we will stop here. Okay, so what is the time complexity here? So we measure time complexity in terms of how many nodes we have to process. Okay, so we process one node here, then two. So what is 2? Actually this is B. Okay, so here one node, then it is 2, then it is 4. So actually it is 2 raised to power 0, 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power 2, which is nothing but B raised to power 0, B raised to power 1, B raised to power 2, like this, right? So time complexity is 1 plus B square. Okay, and what is this 2? This is, okay, so this is nothing but order of B raised to power D. What is D? D is depth of optimal goal. Okay, so goal A, this was the optimal goal. Okay, so the measure. Okay, so the goal was present at depth equals to 2. Okay, so what would happen if you apply at a time of expansion? Okay, so now G was only generated here. Okay, so goal test will not be applied. Okay, now we are seeing the second case when we apply at the time of expansion. Okay, so we will not stop here, we will have to continue, right? So then D will be generated, D will be expanded, E will be expanded, then F will be expanded, and G will be expanded, and then we will apply goal test, and then we will stop. Okay, now we have visited the nodes at the next level, right? So it will become D equals to 3. Okay, so now goal was present at depth equals to D, right? Okay, now but you have visited depth equals to D plus 1. So your complexity will increase from B raised to power D to B raised to power D plus 1. Okay, so it is better to apply the goal test at the time of generation only. Okay, so that is the difference. Okay, so is the algorithm clear to you? Okay, so it is just like our basic structure. Okay, you start with the initial state as the only element in the frontier. Then you check whether that node is a goal test. Okay, initialize explore set as an empty set. Okay, then you you remove a node from the frontier. Okay, and then you expand it. You add the child in the frontier and so on. Okay, now we'll talk about the performance metrics. Okay, so whether BFS algorithm is complete. Yes, it is complete, but provided B should be finite. Okay, so if a solution exists for a problem, so ultimately you will reach to that level, right? BFS is going level by level, so you ultimately will reach to that particular level. Okay, but B should be finite. Okay, if B is infinite, you cannot go to the next level, right? If B is infinite, you will traverse through all the branches, right? You will not go to next level. Okay, so if B is finite, your BFS is complete. The next one, what about optimality? BFS is optimal if the path cost is increasing function of the depth of the node. Okay, so and it is true for many problems. Okay, the path cost will be increasing function of the depth. Okay, Next one is time complexity. So we have seen its complexity is order of B raised to power D, and space complexity. So at max, so now in order to reach this to this level, actually we have maintained all the nodes. Okay, so that's why either in frontier or in explore state, so we have maintained all the nodes. So that's why its space complexity is also base for D. Okay, but always this exponential complexities are scary. So consider this level. If depth equals to 10 and branching factor is to 10, your time will be 3 hours. Okay, and memory requirement will be 10 terabyte. Okay, for the main memory, which is very huge. Okay, and often you will have depth larger than 10. Consider 8 puzzle problem. There will be more than 8 movements, right? Okay, so obviously depth will be much higher in our AI problems. Okay, so we don't want this exponential complexity. Okay, next algorithm is UCS algorithm. Okay, so let us consider this example. So in UCS algorithm, we expand the node with the lowest path cost. Okay. So now consider this is a graph of Romania. Okay. So we our aim is to go from Sibiu to Bucharest. Okay. Okay. So if you compare these two paths, there are two paths possible. The path cost of this path is 210 plus 99, that is 310. Okay. So this is 80 plus 97, that is 7, okay, plus 101, that is 872. Okay, so now this path is optimal one, and our algorithm should give us this path. Okay, so we expand the node with lowest path cost. Okay, so in UCS we maintain a priority queue. Okay, we implement frontier as a priority queue. Okay, so initially S will be there. Okay, so okay. Now there are two neighbors to S, that is RV and F. Okay, cost of RV is 80 and F is this one. Okay, this is the initial scenario. Okay, now S will be removed. S will be check against the goal. S is not a goal. Okay, then its childs will be appended. Okay, so R and V, because this will be inserted in this manner because the cost of RV is 80. The cost of F is 99. Okay. Okay. So next, the path cost of RV is minimum. So we will remove that one. Okay. So we will expand this RV so that the result, the neighbor is P. Now the cost of P is not 97. It will be 80 plus 97. That is 177. So P will be added after the F. Okay. Now F is expanded. Okay. F is expanded and we will get the B. Okay, which is our destination. But now we are getting this path. Okay, which is not our aim. Okay. So P and B. Okay. Now let us continue. Okay, and let us expand this P. Okay, and now we are getting B, and whose path cost is better than this one. Okay, that is 289. Okay, now we will insert this one, and we will discard this old goal with the higher value. Okay, now we expand this one and compare against the goal. Now B is our goal. Okay, and we will stop here. So observe here, we have applied goal test at the time of expansion, not at the time of generation. Okay, so that is the limitation of UCS. So you have to apply goal test at the time of expansion. So obviously its complexity will be one step ahead of the DFS. Okay. So what is the algorithm here? Okay, so it is just like that, just like a DFS algorithm. your initial state will be your node, path cost will be 0, frontier as a priority queue, okay, and order by path cost, okay. Expose will be empty. Initially, if frontier is empty, return failure, okay, you pop the first node, okay, you apply that gold test on that node, okay. Once you are expanding that node, you are applying a gold test here, okay, and you are not applying gold test at the child, okay. You are directly adding a child, but after checking whether it is not in frontier and explore, you are adding that child, okay. So here the observation is that you are applying gold test at the time of expansion, okay. Why it is required? Because we have seen that we may reach to a goal by following a suboptimal path. This was a suboptimal path. This was the optimal path, okay. So your first child may lie on a suboptimal path, okay. So you always compare for the goal at the time of expansion, okay. So completeness. What about completeness? If there is no zero cost action, okay, what happens if zero cost action is there, okay, you will keep on applying, you may keep on applying that action.
Is it going to work again?
Huh?
Is it going to work again?
Oh. Okay, so you may keep on applying that zero cost action and you may fall in infinite path, okay. Now consider there is a branch with infinite depth, okay. So if you keep on applying that zero cost action, okay, you will not go to other path, okay, because it is not increasing the path cost, okay, as this is implemented in a priority queue, okay. So you will not go to the next node, okay. That's why if these conditions are satisfied, then it is complete. UCS is optimal, okay. Then next one is time complexity, okay. As you are not expanding every node, you cannot measure time complexity and space complexity in terms of B and D, okay, because we are not expanding every node, okay. We are going in a particular path only, right? So what is C star here? C star represents the cost of optimal path, and this is the minimum cost required for any action, okay. So in order to simplify this expression, let us consider this epsilon. It is the cost of the action. Consider it is same for all the actions, okay, and consider this situation, okay. Consider this epsilon equals to 100, okay. So this action took 100 and this is 100, okay. Let us consider this is our goal, okay. So C star will be 200, okay. So now put the value B 1 plus 200 by 100, that is equals to B plus 1 plus 2, okay. What is 2? This is D equals to 0, D equals to 1 and D equals to 2, right. So this is nothing but order of B raised to power 1 plus D, okay. And why it is 1 plus? Because we are applying gold test at the time of expansion, right, that you have seen, right, in case of BFS, okay. So see here, so UCS equals to BFS when all state costs are same, okay, but difference is its complexity will be higher. Next one is DFS, okay. So this is the example, okay. So you will go in the deepest level of that particular branch. So see here, okay. So you are going in the deepest branch, okay, deepest level of this branch, okay. If solution is not there, you are backtracking to the next possible action, okay. If solution is not there, then backtrack to other possible solution, okay. And ultimately you will go in second branch, okay. So if you traverse like this, you will get a DFS algorithm. Okay, so now we don't have the algorithm for DFS. So only it is just like a BFS. Instead of using a FIFO queue, you use LIFO stack. You use a stack. Okay, and you will get a DFS algorithm. Okay, rest algorithm is same. Okay, as we have seen, for every algorithm we can have two versions of that, graph version and tree version. Okay, so now we are interested in the tree version. As in the tree version of DFS, we are getting a linear space complexity. Okay, we are getting a linear space complexity. Okay, now we will compare. Okay, complete. Okay, in a graph version we maintain explore state. Okay, so that's why we will not follow in a loopy path. So it will be complete. Okay, in tree version, okay, we may follow in a loopy path, so it is not complete. Okay, both the versions are not optimal. Why? Okay, so if consider this is a goal. Okay, according to the working of DFS, you will go in the deepest level of the left branch, right? And consider G is also here. Okay. Now consider for every action you are incurring one unit cost. Okay. So now cost of this G is 1 and cost of this G is 3. Okay. So it is not guaranteed to get optimal solution. Okay. The next one, time complexity is order of B raised to power m. What is m here? That is maximum depth. Okay. So you have to visit. You may have to visit. Okay. So consider G is here. Okay. And m is what? A maximum depth of the tree. Okay. So compulsory. So now G is here. So compulsory you have to traverse to this depth. Okay, so that's why its complexity is B raised to power m. Okay, now space complexity. Now in tree version we are not maintaining explore state. We are maintaining only frontier. Okay, so for particular branch. Okay, so now we are exploring this branch. Okay, now consider B equals to 2. Branching factor is 2. Okay, so now. So we have expanded this A, then okay, so A will be there in a stack, okay, then A will be removed, okay, then B will be inserted. So how many nodes you are processed? Okay, 1, then 2, then 2, okay. So it will be branching factor multiplied by that. So m is 0 here, m is 1 here, m is 2 here, m is 3. So 3 into 2 plus 1, that is 7. Okay. Okay. So that's why space complexity is linear here, and that is the biggest advantage of DFS. Okay. So we have to maintain only one branch. Okay. Not all the branches. Okay. So that's why, and we want to exploit that advantage of DFS. Okay, so we are going to see the variant of DFS, but we will use only 3 version of that. So we will not find explore state here. Okay, so next one is depth limited search. Okay, so now what was the drawback of this DFS? It was not complete and it was not optimal. Okay, so if you compare this two, okay, so this was the drawback of tree version. It was not complete. In order to make it complete, we can add one thing. Okay, it was not complete. Why? Because we may fall in infinite path, right? So we will restrict the depth of the tree. Okay, so we will put a limit. Okay, search up to a predetermined depth of the depth limit L. Okay. And if you go beyond that, okay, and if we reach to that depth, we will move to the next possible path. Okay, so that is DLS algorithm. We will not go in detail of this algorithm. Okay, so in next class I will explain this algorithm. So now completeness. Actually, it is complete if you give L greater than equals to D. What is D? It is the depth of the optimal. Depth of the optimal goal. Okay. If L is greater than D, means you may visit that particular level and you will find a goal. But if you give L less than D, okay, then your algorithm will be incomplete. Okay, so it is not complete if L is less than D. So the difficult part in DLS is to decide the value of L. Okay, so obviously it is not optimal. Okay, so just like a DFS algorithm, and now time complexity. Now M is replaced by L, right? Okay, so if your length, the depth level, if it is infinite, so DLS will be DFS only, right? Next one is iterative deepening depth first search. Now, what is the drawback of DLS? Okay, so now you have to decide the value of L. Okay, so in iterative deepening search, we iteratively increase the value of L. Okay, so it will start with depth equals to 0 and will go till infinity. Okay, so at a particular moment, after different levels, definitely we will reach to the depth equals to D. Okay, so we will guarantee the completeness. Okay, so this is the working. Okay, so initially limit L will be 0. Okay, we will expand only root node. Then L will become 1. Okay, now we will traverse to depth equals to 1, then depth equals to 2, depth equals to 3, and so on. Okay. So IDS is complete. It is optimal. The time complexity is we just got D, and the best part is space complexity. That is, it is linear, right? Okay. So important questions from these chapters are problem formulation. They may ask you to formulate the problem like 8-pin problem. Okay, so you have to give the answer in that those you have to answer those 5 points. Okay, first one you have to give the initial state of the problem. Then you have to give the set of actions available for that problem, and so on. Okay, then write an algorithm. You may ask to write algorithm of UCS, BFS, DFS. Okay, then differentiation between the algorithm. Okay, differentiate between DFS and BFS. Okay, so now you can differentiate this algorithm in terms of their time complexity, space complexity, whether it is complete. Okay, and which data structure we use. Okay, and you can give one example also. Then how one algorithm is better than other. Okay, how DLS is better than DFS. Okay, how UCS is better than DFS. Which parameters are used to evaluate the performance of such algorithm? Okay, we have seen 4 parameters, that is completeness, optimality, time complexity, and search complexity. You can explain with the help of example also. Okay, all the images are taken from our textbook. Okay, and we will stop here. In next class, we will discuss informed search technique and heuristic function, and we will revisit the algorithm of DLS. And due to time restriction, I am stopping now. Okay, thank you.